Okay, let's perform that field autopsy here.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Well, come on, Encyclopedia, why don't you know? What use are you?
You must have me confused with the Copperpedia.
Who's the Copopedia? I think I need to talk to him.
You, sir. You are the Copperpedia.
Alright, let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
I don't know, what do you mean?
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Showing him the red field autopsy form in the ledger.
That's right.
Open the ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
1. Assistant.
That's you.
Only the first question, and I already don't know the answer.
Not an energetic start to an autopsy, I agree.
Pig's messed up. Kuno feels pity.
Just leave it empty, officer.
the corpse lies there, indifferent to your retrograde amnesia. The next box says
2. Coroner's case number
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you did.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
I have no idea.
I do. KK57-0503-0815.
The number changed. That's funny. We'll write it down.
Next.
3. Name.
NA. Next.
4. Date of birth.
NA.
5. Age.
Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
I'm gonna write around 42.
He nods.
6. Race.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Muindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
7. Sex.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex?
Right. Fucky.
Naively, the lieutenant does not double-check your notes.
El bigo mistako, Lieutenant!
8. Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
11. Evidence of treatment.
None, at least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today, 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Which was it that killed you then? Love or communism?
Huh?
You said love killed you, but when you fell down, you said it was communism.
You're misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me. Love did me in.
You really need to learn the difference, buddy. This is embarrassing.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
1. External examination. Summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
We'll touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
We'll stroke the hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head.
Keep petting him.
More hair sticks to the glove, hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below, an alien landscape. There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now.
There, baby.
The lieutenant watches you in silence.
Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
That was some sick shit, Sekopa.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation.
Write down, but amend for high velocity.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
Steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Let's look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then...
Fuckity fuck.
The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power words to your aid.
Rotate some more.
A really bad smell is coming from there now, and some kind of cracking sound.
Enough. Cut some.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that faggoty. Corpse fucking time.
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee for precision. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Here.
He hands you the chain cutters back and then kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove until he comes to a gap.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
Now, let's get out and see.
I fucking knew it.
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Inspect the genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
The scarring is extensive, way more than a law official's.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Let's pick up the hand.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for, Il Corbo de Cappadocia?
It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair?
I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
The dead man's fingers slip from your hand, cold and sausage-like. Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
2. Internal examination. Summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
If I may add the moral of this story,
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
the brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
The lieutenant grins. All right, not available.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid, ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Let's look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust.
Hepato means liver, and biliary, the gallbladder and bile ducts.
Am I an expert in those things?
Nothing in your alcohol-soaked memory directs to having forensic expertise on either one.
I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology, NA.
Both.
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
Would obscure tidbits and odd trivia fit the fields?
No.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Right, NA, and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around, to the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen, briefly. Write it down. Keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
3. Description of injuries. Summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we've inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
Okay, I have inflicted.
Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters.
But isn't that sloppy?
Be pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck 'em if you love 'em so much?
Now, injuries.
1. Bite marks.
Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
B. Non-fatal. Post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
2. Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
B. Non-fatal. Post-mortem.
Right. Next,
3. Ligature mark.
a dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
A. Opinion. Fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I would not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
We'll give him a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something. You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look under his fingernails like Kim already did.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Yes, there's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags and the Fritz store down at the gates. If they don't know, but only if all else fails.
He says, as his gaze settles on Kuno.
Fuck are you looking at, Beano man? You want a piece of the Kuno? Wanna get fucked?
Only if all else fails.
Let's hurry then.
This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
Can I help you?
I seem to be in need of a fridge.
Yes. For the dead body. You want to put a dead corpse into my fridge, right?
How did you know?
Because you haven't taken it away yet, and it must be stinking hard about now. Well, you're not putting it here, rest assured.
Why?
Because this is a culinary establishment, not a morgue. I can't believe you even asked me.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you too? You're asking too? No, the answer is no. I will not turn this place into some kind of macabre circus.
Wow. Turned the lieutenant off like he was a busted old radio. He really is the lord of his realm.
Let's go talk to the Frit clerk.
I talked to Sylvie. She left because of me, not you.
Wait, what? But what about the bird?
The bird?
Yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing the morning she left.
She didn't break it. I did. I threw it against the wall.
You broke the skewer!
His face is flushed with emotions. A rash covers his neck.
I assure you it was him.
It's as if he can't decide whether to be angry or relieved that it was you. Again.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer?
Maybe I have a vendetta against it.
I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
A tender type of hope. Something stirs in you. Perhaps this is why you broke it.
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me?
She said she was flattered. It was just bad timing.
Really? I should give her a call then.
The man doesn't know what to say. He wipes his brow and stares at the counter.
Thanks, I guess. Was there anything else you wanted, or...?
Nope. Fritta. 3 T's. How idiomatic. A melancholy pop song plays on the radio.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
What magazine are you reading?
You mean this?
She looks at the cover, boasting a colorful photo of two girls kissing.
This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
Forget about all that. What is this fashion police feature?
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
Who's the numero uno guy in there right now? And does he look like me?
No, I don't think so.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Let's proceed. I have some questions for you.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
Do you have a fridge?
Mm-hmm. Right behind you.
You're right, this is a fridge. Wicked.
Yeah.
I need to store a corpse there.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm not joking. I need to store the corpse of the hanged man in your fridge.
Okay. It wouldn't even fit, you know.
Now that I'm looking at it, maybe a glass-doored fridge in a public grocery store isn't the best option for storing a corpse.
Pity. It would have been so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 8B. There are bottles inside. You could pick them up if you had a bag.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains?
Nothing. Why aren't you browsing the books? Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? You ought to.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Examine this strange cage-like trinket.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
And who are the Seminese?
Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminide Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
Then let's open them.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand is closed around her pendant, her fingers playing nervously with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Man, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's look like anyone was killed there. I am sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
I don't care, and you can't stop me. I'll open them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you, you're unleashing forces beyond your understanding.
Lonesome, long way home.
Thought complete.
Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead, to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then, past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox, 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Learning cap for perception raised to 5, and speed gives 1 sigh. Ghostly silhouettes of hairdryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Only an echo. No one is there.
I wasn't kidding when I said we're parapsychologically done. You clearly don't care about the consequences. What gives you the right?
I detected psychic emanations from within and was compelled to investigate.
Don't expect my help from now on. The back door is locked and I threw away the key. I won't trifle with such forces. Do look at the books, though. The books compel you. You may be able to make up for this by buying a lot of books. I hope you're a voracious reader.
What if I want to buy a book?
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
Okay, I'll take another look then.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
Farewell for now, book peddler.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens,
Break it down.
if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm, your jaw.
So I'm guessing this is bad.
Very, very bad. This is the end bad.
Let it all go.
There's no shame in surrendering now. We all do. It gets so dark. You don't even see her face, like you always thought you would. You only see pain and fear. The rotting man lies on his side. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes